Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna guide you to upgrade your cycle and to generate electricity from your cycle, which you can use for charging your phone or for the headlight. You can also use the electricity generated to charge your battery, and using the battery's power, you can use the power for the headlight or to charge the phone while you're not cycling. Furthermore, there is also going to be a voltmeter attached on the cycle in which you can see how many volts are being generated with your cycling power. So if you want to do a cycle race, you don't need 2 or 3 cycles for each of your friends. You can use the same cycle and check whoever generates more volts, and he's the winner. So let's start making a project. So for making this project, you will need a dynamo motor, a wheel. Try to use a smaller wheel as possible, as small wheels create more volts. And also you can consider using rubber bands as I did for the traction of the wheel. A on-off switch, a lithium-ion 18650 battery with its holder, a power bank module, two 6-pin 3-position switches. You can also consider buying 3-pin switches, but note that they have to be 3-position. So you can buy 3-pin switches, or you can use 3-pin switches if you already have them, because we are going to use only 3 pins. So in the circuit diagram also you'll see only 3 pins. So if you have a 6-pin switch, use any of the layer, like there's a top layer and the bottom layer. So you can use any of the 2 layers, and then you can do that, or else you can buy a 3-pin switch. A CA1235 a step down regulator. So you have to solder the 5-volt part just as I did, or else you can also use an AMS 1117 5-volt regulator. You can also use other regulators if you want, like the LM2596. So using LM2596, you have to set it to 5 volts. So I thought this was better because you don't need to set it. And then I did not have an AMS 1117 5-volt regulator, so I used this. But if you have an AMS 1117, you can use that. But do not use a 7805 IC, because 7805 IC I don't recommend it, since it gets hot. Uh, since it gets hot. So, and that too, you're going to get more volts with the motor. So when I tested it, I got around 13 volts. So 13 volts, I don't think the 7805 IC can handle it. So that is why I use this. And a voltmeter, 3 1-watt LEDs, a micro USB cable, it has to be cut, 2 nylon zip ties, and that's it. So now let's move to the circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram of a project. So now you can pause the video and take a look of the circuit diagram and then connect all your components. This is how our project should look like after sticking all the components and connecting all the components. So the motor should be stuck over here. The wheel of the motor should be in contact with the wheel of the cycle. So when the wheel of the cycle moves, the wheel of the motor should also move, which is going to create electricity. So the CA1235 step down regulator should be stuck over here. And then this is the on off switch. This is for charging the battery using the cycling power. And then this is a 3-position switch. This is for charging the phone. So there are 3 positions, one off and one position is using the battery. So this position is going to take the battery's power in order to charge the phone. And then so it was charging right now. So it's charging, and then yeah, so it's charging. The red light over here is blinking, and then this is the other position. Right now it's not charging because I'm not cycling right now. And then so this is the next three position switch. This is for the light. This is for the light which is attached over here. So this position uses the battery power for the light, and then there's also a two position switch over here. So the two position switch controls the number of LEDs. So this is one LED position. This is the three LED position, and right now it's using the battery since I'm not cycling. And then if I switch it to the next position, now it's not turning on since I'm not cycling right now. And then this is the voltmeter. So the voltmeter should be attached over here, and then the power bank module, as you know, should be attached over here. The battery should be over here, and this is the switch for the battery, as I said earlier. And that's it. So for if you want to increase the number of volts coming from the motor, you can use a step up regulator like an XL6009 regulator. So using that, you can convert a small amount of volts to a large amount of volts. So if you're getting around 5 volts, you can convert it to 40 volts or something. However, we are not getting 5 volts, we are getting more than that. Like when I tested it, the max was 17 volts. So you can convert it to more volts also using the XL6009 module. So now let's test our whole project. So as you can see, there are two switches over here. So this switch is a 3-position switch which controls the light using the battery and using the cycling power. So when the switch is to the right position, it's going to use the battery's power to switch on the light, and when it is in the left position, it's going to use the cycling power. Since I'm not cycling, it's not switched on now. So after you use the battery's power or the cycling power, there's another switch over here which is a 2-position switch. So in this position, all the 3 lights are going to be on, just as you can see. All the 3 lights are on. So now if I turn it to the next position, only one light is going to be switched on. So this switch, I use this switch because when I'm cycling, I notice that there's not enough light coming. So that is why changing it to one light would affect in more light coming. So that is why I did that. So now let's test the light using the cycling power. So as you can see, there's a 3-position switch over here which controls the charging. So if I switch it to this position, then it's going to use the battery to charge the phone using this module. So now, as you can see, it's charging, and then the red light over here is blinking, which means it's charging. So now I'll show the charging when I'm cycling. So I'm going to change it to this position. Now I have changed it. So if I cycle, then it's going to use the cycling power to charge the phone. So now the phone is charging through the cycle. So as you all can see, I'm going very slow in my cycle and it's still charging the battery. So I'm getting around 6.3, now 7 volts. So it's fluctuating, but I'm getting around 7 to 8 volts. And then the proof that I'm going slow is my 2-hand free driving. So I did not touch the cycle with any of my hand, and I'm still riding the cycle and the battery is charging. So this is the reading of the voltmeter. So as you can see, I'm trying to go on my maximum speed. So 14, 15, 15.6. So 15.6 volts. 15.6 is the max. But I could not go on my real maximum speed because I was doing one hand free driving. I was holding the phone with one hand and I was riding with another hand, so I could not go on my max speed. So when I tried it without the phone, then I got 17 volts as max. And furthermore, if you want to increase the number of volts, you can also use an XL6009 buck converter. So using that, you can convert small number of volts to a large number of volts. You might have tried the exact same procedure and you might have connected everything properly and it might not work for you. So you will be thinking that how did this guy get it working? So one thing I want to make it clear is I did not get everything working on my first attempt. I troubleshooted a lot and I tried a lot for getting it working. So one troubleshooting tip I would want to give is if there's any problem on the motor side. So for example, the side, the power bank, the phone charging by the cycle. So when you're cycling, the phone has to charge. You put the position of the switch, and then you're cycling, but still the phone is not charging. Then instead of the motor, so there are two wires for the motor, right? So remove those two wires and then connect the battery instead. So now check if everything is working fine, all the things, not only the phone charging. Check all the things if it's working fine. If everything is working fine, then there's a problem in the motor, or else the connection between the motor and the circuit. So that might be the problem. And if you connect the battery also, if you connect any other battery and still if it's not working, then the problem is in the circuit. So for example, the voltmeter is not working and everything other is working fine, then the voltmeter is not working, or else the connection between the voltmeter and the circuit is not working. So this might be the problem, and to troubleshoot the exact thing which is not working, you can use a multimeter. So this is a multimeter, and then you can set it to the continuity place. So this is the continuity thing. You can set it over here, and then you have to if you want to test if the connection between this and this is working. So for example, you have to test the connection between the voltmeters negative and your motors negative. Then you have to connect one probe over there and one probe to the motor, and then check if sound is coming. So for example, if I connect these two probes, I'm getting sound. So if you are not getting sound, it means the connection is not proper. And then to check the whole thing, to check the part which is not working, you can put the probe everywhere. So like if there are two wires getting connected, and there would be three positions. So one wire's starting position, one wire's end, and then one wire's end again. So the two wires are connected. So now you can put the probe uh, in all the three positions to check if sound is coming, and then accordingly you have to troubleshoot, and then you can find which wire is not working. So this is the troubleshooting technique. And then if you're getting any problem in the battery side, so for example, you're trying to charge your phone through the battery and it's not working, then the same thing, you have to follow the same thing. You have to use a multimeter and you have to check all the parts. Thanks for watching. There were a lot of efforts for making this video. For example, I had to do one hand driving for holding the phone, and then I had to go on my maximum speed, so sometimes the phone also fell down. So and then I also got hurt sometimes. So if you like my efforts and if you like my project, please like, share and subscribe. And then you can, for more details, you can also visit the instructable I have created. So the link is there in the description, and the link for the circuit diagram is also there in the description. So thanks for watching.